Hi, this is Keith with How to Build Your Own Home. I'm at a new job site and we've got the foundation poured. I just want to walk you through this site. We'll call this a site walk. I come up here later in the evening after a long day and I try to see what I need to plan for, what I'm missing, what I didn't catch before, and I'll kind of walk you through that process and kind of show you what I've done and how we've done that up to this point. We've got a slab on grade here on a beautiful home, southwest corner of Utah. It's a hot day today. We reached up to 108 degrees, so it's been very hot. Right here we got a recessed shower. I love recessed showers because it gives you the opportunity to actually walk in the shower with no threshold, no step, and I love recessed showers. So we got one here. We've got one over there as well. We got a closet area here, and I'm walking the site and checking everything that I have. And I want to make sure I get things cleaned up. We've got framers coming, so they're going to chalk line the concrete. So I'm going to hurry and broom off this and get it nice and clean real quick. I might even hose it off to get it super clean. And then seeing what we need to do. Now, this here is a very tight job. I have very little access. It's been very challenging to get this far. As you see, we've got a swimming pool going in at the same time as the build. The reason for that is because it was the only way to get the dirt out. It was down the hill over there before the foundation was poured. So we hurried and got that done. We've got one little pile over here, which we're going to remove tomorrow. So my first thing tomorrow is I call my landscaper and say, hey, can we get this removed tomorrow? Because we are going to pour this garage monolithic pour on Thursday. So I'm looking at the schedule, looking at the sequence of things, and there's one thing that I spotted that I didn't really consider, but I'll show you what I spotted. We've got some long beams here. This is 35 feet long. Now my forks on the skid steer will easily lift this beam without a problem, but they will not lift that long beam. So now I've got to schedule the lift and placement of that beam when the trusses arrive. So I will call the truss company and say I need a single stack for a large beam, and they'll have the crane come up. We'll grab a hold of this and we'll set it on the posts as they're ready. When they're ready, we'll just set them on the post, because there's no way we're going to lift that beam. Either one of those beams, we're just not going to lift them. So that's something I just bought it and I want to schedule it out. Walk the site, you'll start to see things. Ask yourself, I wonder how that's going to happen. And so you'll see things, and then that helps you schedule. That helps you see the sequence that needs to take place. We've got all the lumber already over there. I wanted to make sure it's tightly bound. I'm in a very arid climate. That's tightly bound, and I'll tell my framers, only unleash and cut loose what you're going to use. Keep that wood bound as long as you can, because it's going to do its thing. I don't have any humidity right now. If I was in some other parts of the climate, other parts of the country, I wouldn't be dealing with lumber issues like I deal with here. And so that's my biggest fear right now. I've got to get some coating on some beams over there, because those were fresh cut just about a week ago in Missouri. Beams over there, and they're oak. And so I'm going to put a coating on there to slow down the curing process. So far they look good, and I looked at them, they're staying true to the most part. There's a slight bend, but I've got a 12-foot beam. I'm only going to use a 9-foot cut section of it. So there's one beam that's just bent a little bit at the top, but that's going to get cut off. So I'm not too worried. But I will get those cured and sealed tomorrow. Again, you walk the site. We've got over here this is the only access to the backyard. And in a previous post we talked about we're putting in some posts in here. So I'm waiting to pour those to the very last minute. Once we get all the dirt out, these will go in. I won't be able to get back there with heavy equipment. And so that's been a real challenge on this job. Now I might be able to get some heavy equipment back there, but I can't quite tell yet. I've got a skid steer that's 6 feet, and the corner to the rock over there, that's 6 feet. So I don't know if I'll get stuck. We'll see. So once this gets poured, if for some reason I need to get back there, we're just going to build a mound of dirt over the corner and then come out over the backside that way to get access to the back. So I do have one way back there if I need to. It just means this is going to get framed last. The very last thing, this will get framed. So I'll start with my framers on the far side over there, and we'll work our way over to here, and we'll probably do this last if I don't get that dirt out. So looking at sequences, scheduling, this has to happen before this can't happen until that's done, stuff like that. At least we got rid of a lot of dirt that was here. That helped out quite a bit, keeping a level ground. I wanted to bring up some road base or what have you, but I don't want to affect the soils because we want to have some nice gardening take place. And you can see that there's got to be a lot of soil brought up here, but I didn't want to do that right away. I just want to keep it level. We've got some good weather coming up, so we're in good shape so far. Again, just walk your site. This is what I do in the end of the day. Look at what's missing. I make sure that all my materials here. Now I'm missing some strong walls, and those are strong walls that go up and they hook right into those, they look like carriage bolts. They're going right inside the concrete over here. I don't have those here yet, and so my framer really can't do this entire wall without those strong walls. Strong walls are an engineered wall. It's a combination of wood and metal, sometimes just metal, sometimes wood, sometimes a combination, but it's an engineered wall that's tightly built, typically with glue lams or LVL material, and that's built up here to help with our shear support. When we first designed this home, the clients wanted a vaulted ceiling, but I said, let's take it up as high as we can. Let's grab that view. There were no windows up above. You'll see when we get this framed, there were just no windows, so we added those windows. So when you walk into the house, you'll see blue sky up above, and you'll see the view of the valley at eye level. So we were able to capture that, both of those. One thing I'm worried about is the beam that's going to go right across here to support a porch before you go out into the pool. Now I'm 6 feet. My client, the husband, he's about my height. His wife is shorter, so I want to make sure that I'm going to try to grab as much view. And if I want to lift that beam up, I'm thinking about how high I can lift that beam up so I have a good view. And I've got 22 inches on that beam that's going to go all the way across here to support that 10-foot porch. And I've got a roof that's going to be 840 pounds per square. And so I've got to be able to handle that weight, which is why that beam is the way it is. And I didn't want a lot of beams this way to break up the view. I wanted it to just look like we're floating in the sky in a way. But that beam is what it is. And so I'm going to try to see if we can't lift it. Once we do get a string line, I'll have my clients come up here. And right now I'm at a 7/12 pitch on that porch. It may be that I may just go with a 6/12 pitch and I make it a little shallower. What that will do is it'll lift the beam just a little bit. I don't know yet. These are things I'm thinking about as I'm building it. Again, the architect can think of a lot of these things, but you don't notice them until you're actually building the building. So that's my big worry, is that beam, how much of the view it's going to take up. And if we can cheat, change the pitch of that, I don't know yet. I got to call the truss plant to confirm that. So things I'm working with as I go through the process. So anyway, I could talk forever. I love coming up on the evening like this and planning for the next day, because we go through a major transition tomorrow. We start framing and it's going to be fun. We start going vertical. It's taken a long time just to get to this point. We had to get all utilities in first, which is usually not the way we go. Sometimes you get your utilities in late after the game, but the good thing is they're in. Gas, power, water, sewer, low voltage, cable, TV, etc. They're all in. So I'm excited about that. That means we're going to actually move fast, but we had to get those in because we had to build a road. And getting those in made it more feasible to not have a mess later on. I just said to my client, let's just deal with a really bad mess now, and that way when we move, we're not going to have to deal with a mess later. So they were excited about that. Anyway, this is Keith Kelch on a new build in a Rock Cove subdivision of Southwest Utah with How to Build Your Own Home. You guys take care.